Hey everyone, everything is fun in the golden yellow sun. Yes, indeed, and welcome back to this week's session of Wednesday Wisdom. Today's topic, quite an intriguing one. It is hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. The layout of this video followed by two very simple questions, but very important ones too. First one being, how can you differentiate a talented individual from a successful one? What is the difference? Number two, how can you become a successful individual with or without talent? To start with, a little disclaimer. On Monday, in Monday's video, I said talent does not equal to success. I have a feeling it's going to be perceived in the wrong way, so let me just clarify what that meant. If you are talented, that does not mean you will not be successful. Being talented is a great thing. What talent is not equal to success, what that means is if you are talented just because you are talented, does not mean that you will be successful. Like you have this talent, right? And a little example, you're talented, right? Let's say you are really good at singing. And what's next? You want to, be a singer in Broadway musicals. Let's just imagine that's your dream, right? You have a good voice, you know it, maybe a couple of your friends know it. That's it. You're just gonna sit there and wait for someone to just come knocking on your door and say, hey, we want you to participate in our musical. That's not how it works. The message of today's video is that just because you are talented does not mean you don't have to work hard and you will just be successful automatically. No. Whether you are talented, whether you are not talented, you need to work hard to get to wherever it is you want to go. That is the main message for today's video. To start with a story of two cricketers. One whose name the whole world knows. The name that the cricket world admires and worships even. The other, a name long forgotten. One of these cricketers now was so naturally talented. The other had somewhat of a disadvantage. This is the story of Sachin Tendulkar and Vinod Kambli. Sachin Tendulkar, everybody knows his name. He's the greatest batsman, arguably, in all of international cricket. But he is not the one that was naturally talented. That is Vinod Kambli. Vinod Kambli, you see him play, you are left with no words. He was that good. So, how come he is not the name that everybody knows and worships in the cricket world? How come he is a name that is long forgotten? Well, you see, it all started with two boys who shared the same ambition to be the best in the cricket world. They wanted to be outstanding in their field, right? Because who doesn't? They were dreaming and they were dreaming big. Now, the only difference, one of them was putting in a little bit more work than the other. Vinod Kambli thought that his talent was enough to just get him to international cricket. That was not the case. Although the numbers, they were pretty good. He actually has the highest average in a test match for an Indian batter. It's pretty good. That's amazing, right? Scouts were definitely impressed. But the reason that it did not stay that way is because he started to get sidetracked. And if he ever wasn't performing well, then he would blame luck and he would blame other people, but he would never once take responsibility for his actions himself. He would never once think that, if I wasn't performing well, maybe I should practice. Never. He would just leave it at that. In fact, Sachin Tendulkar and Vinod Kambli, they used to train together at some point. Training would end, Kambli would head home. Whether he did good, whether he didn't. Sachin Tendulkar, he would stay there and he would continue to practice again and again and again until he felt like he was good. Even then, he would come back the next day and practice again and again and again. He would work really, really hard, and that is the reason he is the best today. Talking about his disadvantage, Kambli had none. He was naturally talented. Sachin Tendulkar, on the other hand, was a short man, right? That is a bit of a disadvantage, even mentally, because you have to try not to be intimidated by your opposition who is like twice your height, right? So even in that case, he had to work harder. He made sacrifices because he really, really wanted to play international cricket, and not just to play, but to be the best in the world. And that is the difference. That is the reason why the cricket world worships Sachin Tendulkar's name. And Vinod Kambli is one that's long forgotten. It's a bit unfortunate, really, because Kambli had the makings of a fantastic player. If only he would have worked a little bit harder, he would have taken the world by storm. But sadly for him, his legacy is one of an if-only story. And that is a lesson to be learned, that just because you are talented does not mean that your talent alone is all you need. You've got to put in the work. How can you put in the work, though? How can you be a successful individual with or without talent? That lies on three basic little fundamentals, three little steps. The first one being seek criticism, not praise. I know it's not easy to listen to the things that we need to hear. Criticism is really, really hard to take in. It is easy to hear the things we want to hear. We could always just ask, if you create something, like, let's say you're a chef, right? You bake a nice pastry. You go to your friends, you ask them, how great is this? You sound arrogant, egoistic, and as if there's no more room for improvement. Obviously, the answers you're gonna get is, wow, fantastic. Now let's do this again. You're a chef, you bake a pastry, you go to your friends and you ask them, how can this be improved? You will get real constructive criticism. You will get, maybe it's too salty, maybe it's too sweet, maybe it's too crunchy, maybe it isn't soft enough. Whatever it is that chefs need to hear as constructive criticism, you will get your improvement. You will know what to work on. That is how you become better at your skill, whatever your skill may be. Now, number two, take responsibility. If you have touched a piece of work, you now accept all full responsibility of that. Whatever happens with that work, it is partly your fault as well, whether it's good or bad. And if you do accept responsibility, then you have nobody else to blame other than yourself. Simple as that. Because if you accept responsibility for the work you do, when it goes wrong, you know where and how it went wrong, and you know how to improve as well. And if it is fantastic, then that is also because of you, because you put in that hard work. And lastly, most importantly, you've got to put in the hours. There's a beautiful saying, believe you can and you're halfway there. You see, believing in yourself is very, very important. I cannot emphasize on that enough. But let me say the saying again, believe you can and you're halfway there. That's 50% done. What about the other 50? That is what so many people tend to forget about. You actually have to put in the hours. Yes, you are seeking criticism. Yes, you accept full responsibility. But of what? If you're not working hard, what is there to criticize about? If you're not working hard, then what is there to take responsibility for? You must put in the hours. In fact, there's this rule called the 10,000 hour rule, where you need to do something for at least 10,000 hours to be an expert at it. Now, you don't really have to look into the number of hours. The rule basically just means that you have got to put in the hours, keep on working, and most importantly, do it happily. Because this is something that you want. So if you're not going to be happy while putting in the work, then what? There is no meaning for you to do this at all. Many people just want that easy success, that dream. But it's just a little picture. It can never be turned into reality if you do not put in the hours. So these are your three basic fundamentals and your difference between a talented and successful individual. I really hope you like this video. I know it was a bit difficult to take in. It is the harsh truth, but somebody has to say it. And honestly, I will come back and watch this video anytime I feel like I'm not working hard enough. Because that is the key. If you feel like you're working hard, work even harder. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next week. Bye!